Welcome to Home on the Range, the official podcast of 1881 Ranch, bringing you the latest on the products, topics, and techniques for the shooting, hunting, and adventure lifestyles. Here is your host, tactical deployment of small arms expert and 1881 Ranch Director, Will Egbert Jr.
Hey everyone, welcome back. This is episode 7 of Home on the Range, hosted by 1881 Ranch, coming to you remotely from our temporary studio. Like I said, this is episode 7. We are joined in the studio by a special guest today, Greg from Hackett Equipment.
What's going on?
Hey Greg, how you doing?
Good, how are you? What's going on?
I can't complain, no one will listen, right? We also have another, we've got third mic today, is our buddy and event director, Chris, with 1881 Ranch.
That sounds far too complicated. Good to be here, Will.
I'm glad you could join us.
Hot mic.
Yes, you're on the hot mic. You're in the hot seat.
The hot seat.
Yes, make sure to take notes. We might quiz you from time to time.
Here we go. I got my pen.
All right. So, Hackett Equipment, intro to Greg. Here we are. This is just your big moment.
Here we are.
Right?
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about yourself, Greg, and who you are.
Sure.
Tell everybody.
So my name is Greg. I am the president of Hackett Equipment. We make range gear, specifically range bags, backpacks, rifle bags, gun belts, shooting glasses, and steel targets.
Oh, really? Into steel targets now?
Yes, now we're doing steel targets too.
Oh,
so
are those laser cut?
A little bit of everything. Yep, laser cut.
Oh, very cool, very cool.
Good finish on them too.
Yeah?
Yep.
So what got you into shooting?
So,
because this is primarily a shooting accessory company, correct?
Correct. Yep. Strictly range gear. We don't try to pretend to be like too tactical or anything like that. Just basically for someone who lives in the suburbs who wants to go to the range or wants to like shoot outside with steel targets or things like that. But basically, I got into shooting when I was 5 or 6 years old. My dad and my grandpa were competition slow pistol shooters. So they would shoot the 45 1911 at 25 yards.
Oh, that's mesmerizing.
Yeah. Everybody thinks it's boring now, but I think it's so fascinating. Like to take the concentration it takes to shoot bullseyes at 25 yards with iron sights is impeccable.
I guess guys will find any way to get out of the house.
You're right. Yeah.
And if I can burn 3 minutes per round.
I could be here all day.
Well, I get 2 things accomplished, right?
Right.
1, I get out of the house a little bit longer than normal. And 2, I don't spend as much money on ammo, so I'm not getting yelled at.
Yes. Well, the funny thing about that is when my grandpa was shooting, when he was practicing his slow pistol shooting, he would have the kids reload the bullets for him at night after he spent all his casings during the day.
Slave labor.
Yes, basically, yeah. My mom and her siblings have fond memories of reloading bullets at night.
Well, as long as they weren't tapping primers.
Right. Yeah, so when I was like 6, my dad put like this like Walther PPK looking 22 pistol in my hand and taught me how to shoot, and then from there I just kind of worked my way up basically. And,
all right. So you've been a long time enthusiast?
Yeah, basically enthusiast, hobbyist, and now business owner. So
well, there's the jump to insanity.
Yeah.
As most of us can attest to, you can't really lie to yourself in the morning when you get up in the middle. You look at yourself in the mirror and you say, yeah, I'm sick, boss.
Yep.
And you look at yourself in the mirror and you're like, you lazy dirtbag, get back to work.
Yeah, exactly.
You can't do anything. It's just people don't really understand what it takes to be an entrepreneur and be in business by yourself.
Well, especially in the firearms industry when all this stuff is going on right now, like. Yeah, it's pretty crazy with like social media and things like that. It's really hard to like get the word out there, So a beginning company who's just starting out in the firearms industry, it's kind of tough.
It is. It's extremely difficult, especially because you're up against some really, some high end feeds, companies that have got a lot of years
and a lot more reach for sure.
Yeah, exactly. And money can buy you I don't want to say respect, but it can definitely buy you a feed.
Definitely.
Followers for sure.
Yeah.
Just look at the Springfield Hellcat and the marketing money behind that one.
Man.
Ooh.
Or how about the guys who did the full
Ooh.
conceal stuff? They threw a lot of money behind that one as well.
Did they?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
You don't really see too much of them anymore, though. Those
No.
folding Glocks.
I thought that was a joke for many years. Like for
So did I.
for the first year, I thought it was just somebody that built something that was like, ah ha ha, look at this. It's one of those, I don't want to say vaporware, but it was like
Flash in the pan kind of thing, you know?
No, it was like yes, but it was like a what do you call it? Like a wives' tale.
Right.
A wives' tale, right? Like, oh, there's this urban rumor of Sasquatch with
The folding Glock.
Yes, exactly.
Well, you remember the folding Glock that Magpul came out with? The one that they had at SHOT Show. The
Magpul had a folding Glock?
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Yeah. It's for like walking your dog at night. It's got a flashlight on it. You never saw
Oh
that?
no, I didn't.
Oh, please take a look. It's something that every guy.
I just
has to
carry a
have.
lead pipe.
No.
And,
You'll
well,
see this. You're going to
I'd
want
always
this.
be walking a Rottweiler. My wife would be walking the Rottweiler. So, I mean, there's not much the Rottweiler. You don't need to carry much when you've got a Rottweiler. Roddy. 150 pounds of shredded muscle, teeth going all the way back to his neck. You typically don't need to carry a gun. You got a fur missile.
But it's a flashlight and was it a full auto?
No.
Glock? Yeah. Look it up.
all right,
Hit
all right.
YouTube.
All right. Let's not get
YouTube.
too far down the road.
We'll check this out.
You got to see this.
gotta
Well, speaking
It's
of
been around
SHOT
for
Show,
20 years.
One of the first times I hung out with both of you guys was at the We Like Shooting party over at the Tiki bar.
The Golden
Oh,
Tiki.
yes.
Remember that?
Oh, do I ever? All right. So there's
Do you remember it or don't you remember it?
Oh, yeah.
No, I remember it quite vividly, as a matter of fact. I remember what those drinks cost me, too.
But
What was that place called?
the Golden Tiki, and just so everybody knows, Lembao Rum is now a distributor for them. So
No
when we
kidding.
go there
Really?
in January, we can get Lembao Rum,
Not
which
bad.
is
I'm
the
actually
best
looking forward
rum
to that
in the
again.
world.
Yes, I am. Lemba is
Yes.
nice stuff.
Which Mookie turned us on to, and as we all know, Mookie is good people.
Oh, yes. Yeah, he's
Definitely.
squared away.
Yeah,
He's squared away. He's always got his fingers in so many cool pies.
yeah.
And I kind of just come up at the end of them like, where did you find that? How did you come at, it's like you missed the Mookie party.
I did miss the Mookie party.
Oh, yes. The Mookie party is
Well, we saw him at NRA. That's where we got the
Yeah.
koozies.
exact. Well, we got the koozies from Premier.
Premier, yeah.
Yeah.
He's
Premier
like, come
Body.
on, we got to go meet our friends at Premier.
I always happen on you guys at like 2:00 in the morning at some event. I don't know what it is.
You never return any of my calls. You like ditch me or something. It's like I'm like the social plague. I don't get it. But yet, no matter where I'm at, I'm always causing a ruckus.
Well, I don't answer your calls because I know you're going to be wherever I'm going.
We kidnapped that kid from Krebs last year.
I felt
Alex.
sorry for that.
Oh.
All right, so everyone understands. We did not kidnap anybody.
Mark
Okay,
Krebs gave him to us. Take him out, find him a girlfriend. Yeah.
I didn't understand where that was going when Mark said that, and it was kind of like, "Hey, can you guys do something with him? He's not, like he doesn't know what to do." And we said, "Yeah, fine, he can come with us." And then all of a sudden, like halfway through the evening, his demeanor didn't change, and then all of a sudden, it like a light switch, it came on. And, like all of a sudden, he's smiling.
Well, yeah,
and I'm
we
like,
took him to that rave party.
"Whoa." Yeah, well, we turned him loose at the salient
Salient
party.
party, yeah.
The salient.
That's about the only thing I can. Last year's salient party was. Did you hit
No,
that?
this is not one
I
attended.
think you missed the best salient. Well, here, let me say this: the year before was kind of like everyone's like, "Oh, yeah, it's pretty cool," and this past year was like, it was creepy off the chain.
Dude,
Like,
they were eating cockroaches. It was
yeah, they were trying
out
to
of
blow
control.
a cockroach through a tube between two people,
They-
and whoever couldn't outblow the other one, the cockroach wound up in their mouth.
yeah, but
What?
oh, these weren't normal
Then they had to eat
cockroaches.
it. No, they were dipped
They were
in.
huge. They were,
Oh,
like
they were-
this big in that plastic tube.
They were South American or
I got the
Central
video.
American.
It's
Oh,
terrible.
yeah. I mean, I had one.
And look, we're talking about it, right?
We have this rabbit hole just to consume this this episode like crazy.
This is now the SHOT Show Party podcast.
this is all right. So let's see. All right, let's let's kind of steer this crippled boat back over this way.
Sure.
All right, so you're mainly firearms bags and equipment bags, things like that for the average shooter.
Correct.
Right?
Yep.
Okay, so it's all price point equipment. I've seen it. It's very nice. Where I know that I like it, but there's been some rumors and talk and everything like this about what is a rifle taco.
Oh, yeah, the rifle burrito.
Oh, the rifle burrito.
Yes.
Yes, the rifle burrito.
The rifle burrito is a rifle bag / shooting mat. So it's like a combination, kind of like a sniper drag bag,
Okay.
except made more for the civilian.
Okay.
So you could put your rifle in it, but you could also use it as a shooting mat. So
All
if
right.
you're like in the mountains or going to an outdoor range and you want to shoot prone, you can.
Oh, well, that's kind of like duh. That's a duh moment for me.
Right.
Like,
It's pretty simple,
I
actually.
didn't have to lay down on the rocks.
Right, yeah.
Oh.
And the padding, once you try this, the padding in there, you'll be surprised how well you're supported.
I remember the old drag bags from Eagle and Blackhawk and things like that back in my days as a defense contractor, and I got to tell you,
There's probably no padding in
Yeah,
there.
not really. No, padding technology
They
was
weighed
not.
80 pounds and
Yeah.
they cost $300, and you got garbage. It
Well,
was just,
the cool
I
thing
don't want to
about
say garbage, but the
Okay.
padding was not there to cushion anything other
Yeah.
than to maybe protect the rifle from scrapes. That was
Okay.
about it.
when you laid them out, it never.
Although, wait a minute, I got to say that my Eagle bag, quite different than my Blackhawk bag.
Okay, the Eagle bag was good. I had one for my Remington, and it laid out flatter than some of the others. Not mentioning names, some of them laid flatter than others, and they had better, whatever you want to call it, foam in between them. But some of the other ones were just ass. Oh,
Hey, did you know that we specifically made the material for the bag? Like the outside and inside, you cannot find this material anywhere else in the world but in our bag. So
Really?
So the outside is covered in like a special PVC coating, and it's like a really cool blend of polyester on the outside. That
Careful, don't give anyone too many things.
Don't worry, I'm not going to give away all our secrets. But
Because it does. They have a little bit of a shiny, like rubbery look
yeah,
to the
and
outside.
it's water resistant and it's durable as heck. And on the inside, this was by accident, by the way. We developed this fabric that you could like. It's supposed to be heat resistant and fire resistant, so you know your shooting mat's not going to catch on fire on you.
Oh, bonus.
But you could put patches on there. That was a complete
It was
accident.
like a headliner. Well, it's like the last thing you want, right? I mean, you're sitting there, you lay your rifle down, all of a sudden it catches on fire. You're laughing and joking. Next thing you know, you're engulfed in,
Right.
flaming soup of melting nylon.
Well, and believe it or not, like a lot of the materials that are used in those drag bags can catch fire pretty easily. So that's something we definitely modified.
Well, for the range, the guy that's shooting at the range, a guy or woman shooting at the range, they're going to be putting typically a lot more rounds through than
Oh, yeah.
a sniper with a drag bag.
Definitely.
He's going to get 1 or 2 shots off, 3 shots off, and he's going to be done.
Right.
Right? So that's kind of nice. It was
Yeah,
good follow
you're
through.
gonna put away the rifle hot, like if you got to get out of the range pretty quickly, and yeah, so that's one unique feature that most people don't know about the bag is that it's like a one of a kind like material that we specifically made for it.
I probably still wouldn't recommend putting a hot suppressor in there, though.
No, I mean like you don't want to go hotter than 800 degrees, but to get to 800 degrees on a suppressor is going to take like thousands of rounds. So.
Yeah, you're gonna go smoking on that.
You're right.
I still remember one year at Knob Creek, I watched some guy take a suppressor off after 30 or 40 rounds, a full auto burst, and he's laughing. He's like, "Oh yeah. Well, here, listen to the difference." And he goes to take his suppressor off.
Oh, he
and
burned his hand, right?
Oh, he left his hand on the suppressor and
His
peeled
skin
it off, and
must
there
have-
was just
oh my
blood
God.
everywhere. Oh, it was just.
That's like the Christmas Story episode with the tongue.
With the tongue on
yeah.
the yes, exactly. But just engulfed a little bit more, Fangora,
Right.
Fangoria, that type of thing.
That must have been a sight to see.
It left a lasting impression in my head. But you know what was kind of funny is that some years later, you remember when we were up there with Altenda and we were on the range up there at that place up in by Fox Lake.
the site.
No.
Second Amendment.
Second Amendment. And I was
Still haven't been there.
It's a nice range.
Is it?
Yeah, it's a nice range. Nice door.
Okay.
Very cool, especially when
Cool
you walk
door,
in
guys.
with one of the angled counters.
Okay.
Nothing but STIs, like, all loaded with Gucci stuff. And I'm like, I could just stop right here.
Oh,
I don't have to go
so
any
they know
further.
what they're doing then.
Yes, exactly. Right. But we were there, and I got my Noveski Fire Pig on the end of my little short barrel 7-inch, Sig, and I'm and I'm ripping off, right? And for some reason, I took it, moved it back out of the way, and I burned the inside of my forearm with the fire
kidding.
pig. Yeah,
Oh, I remember that, yeah.
You remember that? I think there's still like a dark spot here in my forearm, but it literally sat there for probably 3 months, where you could literally see the indentations and the retaining ring and that. So if anybody knew anything about firearms, they'd look at that and I'm like, what is that? And they're like, oh, I know, I've seen that before. What is that? And I went, Noveski. And I'm like, oh, it's a fire pig. They knew exactly what it was. And that was just one of those moments I put my head down. I was like, oh my God, what did I do?
Dang it.
Here I come from the top of the ladder and I just knocked myself off a few hundred rungs.
That barbecue was good afterwards, though.
Hey, speaking of El Tenda, on your last podcast with him, I was listening, and he said he was shy. And
Yeah, he did.
I was
He
like,
thought he was shy. I don't know.
I was like, when I heard that, I just shook my head because we were at the bullpup shoot for the Manicore Arms thing, and what town is that in?
That's
Mount
God's
Carroll.
Mount Carroll, yes.
Yeah, God's country, where
You
Jesus
could
left
shoot
his
the
sandals.
full auto once a year or whatever, and El Tenda comes up to our Hackett booth, and he's got like the biggest smile on his face, and he has like 10 business cards in his hand.
Yeah, he's really shy.
And I thought of that moment, and I was like, yeah, El Tenda's not a shy guy.
He might come out and be like, "Oh no, I'm being a real shy." And
Yeah.
No, you're not. No. You say, "Hey, aren't you El Tenda?" "Oh yeah," and then it's just like the mouth runs.
Right.
And then you see the Chuck Norris tattoo, and that's it. It's over with that.
Oh, the Lego Chuck Norris tattoo.
I still haven't seen that. I've seen the AK-47 tattoo, but
That's cool. I'm not sure I'd have an AK-47 tattoo. Like if someone's saying like, "What tattoo would you have on your forearm?" I'm not so sure I'd put a communist bloc assault rifle on my
How about
arm.
that flag from Africa? I may put that on my arm.
Some Zimbabwe.
he does like that grappa too.
Isn't
I'm
that
surprised
Zimbabwe?
he
I
doesn't have a grappa
can never
tattoo.
remember what it. Does he? Yeah, he's got a grappa tattoo. It's the other one though. The other one is really cool. He's got the memento mori.
Okay.
The eyeball.
I haven't seen that one.
Oh, that's creepy because all the Italians they love that voodoo stuff.
Okay.
I don't get it personally, but they do. I mean,
He's
Yeah.
the real deal.
he
There's
is.
No,
I mean, he is dyed in the wool Venetian.
mean,
he was
Definitely.
when I was laser engraving his AK with the Venetian lion on it. He was seriously like, I could get into trouble because I'm using the war flag, and I'm like,
Yeah.
dude, no one's gonna find you. Like, give it a rest. What are they gonna do? Harbor you for grab you in the United States as a U.S. citizen for what, war crimes against Italy? Currently? Like, what? Good, because you used the wrong flag on your AK? Come on.
there's a handful of guys that get out of bed at 2 o'clock in the morning to bury for, and he's one of the few that I would. I'd be like, yeah, all right, El Tenda, whatever you let me grab a shovel. I'll be on my way.
Yeah.
Mozambique. I can never remember it.
Mozambique.
I always want to
Yeah,
say
who
it's
remembers
Zimbabwe.
Mozambique?
Let's see that.
Well, you should remember it. I mean, Jesus, it's like the country that started genocide. The word genocide
Yeah.
actually got its definition from Mozambique.
Let's go get that tattoo.
No, thank you.
Come on. No. We'll have El
know
Tenda's
a
wife
guy.
do that.
Actually, El Tenda knows a guy.
El Tenda's wife say
El Tenda's,
Right.
El Tenda's
Knows-
wife
knows
is
the
a
wife.
very, she's a very accomplished tattoo artist. All right, so who out there right now is using the bag, the burrito?
The rifle burrito.
Yeah. Like, are there some of the Hackett equipment stuff?
Yeah.
Like, who's using this stuff?
So a lot of people, and it always surprises me when I find out like who actually uses our products. So we go into it one way thinking that, a guy from the suburbs is going to take his rifle from the car to the range, and just want to be kind of discreet about it.
Mm-hmm.
But we've got a lot of people in Colorado and like Alaska who use the rifle burrito. And basically it's mainly for transportation when you don't want to carry like a huge Pelican case, with you.
Is that a shot? Is that a shot?
No, it's not a shot. As we stare at a mountain of pelican cases, but
Well, did you see those back there? I've actually
No, I
got one
haven't
that'll
seen
hold
the
a
other one.
person.
oh jeez.
Yeah, they call it the coffin. It's
Oh,
right.
I do see it. Yeah, that is.
Yeah, I
that's
literally,
a big one.
I put both my children in it one day, and my wife just absolutely freaked. She's like, "Don't do that. That's bad luck." And then there's that there's that juju again.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm looking at some of the tags here on Instagram,
Sure.
and there's a ton of stuff. There's some dude talking smack. Wait, that's not it.
Everybody's always talking smack on Instagram.
I know, right?
That's the internet.
Well, here's some girl rocking your new backpack.
Yeah, that is.
A7 Defense Aerospace.
Is that the
she's
Skips
carrying them
Tactical?
yeah, I think she's carrying an M&P. Oh, Trilly Toyo. Trill
Oh,
Toya.
Tritoya. Yeah.
Yeah.
She's cool. I like her.
That one there.
Yeah.
Nice stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that Gun DMC. Is that the other half of Argo J?
No.
Is that his buddy?
Argo J. Yeah. I don't know if they're affiliated, but yeah, Gun DMC is a cool guy. He actually was the first person who started taking our pictures for us, but now we've got like hundreds of people taking pictures. So that's
got-
I like the red interior. So when you look at the rifle burrito,
yeah,
I mean it's got that cool red interior.
that like
'Cause, I mean,
sexy interior.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean the patch. The patch is.
People buy the bag just for the patch.
Do they really?
Yeah. That's like that's $100 patch.
Hey, you buy the patch, I'll throw it in the rifle case.
Right.
Right? It's $100.
That's basically what it is.
The patch is really cool.
Yeah.
I mean, I like that angry burrito with the stitching on it and stuff.
Yeah.
And oh, look at that! There's some really nice stuff. And the backpack's getting some traction too.
Definitely. The rifle burrito is really popular right now. And we just came out with the Baby Bertha. It's our concealed carry backpack.
Oh yeah, I saw those.
Yep. I showed you it earlier. And that is doing surprisingly well. I'm happy to see that too, because a lot of people have been asking for a one pistol setup, the same as our other bag. So we have the Big Bertha, which holds 4 pistols.
Okay.
We have
Is that the one that's on the website here? That's wait a minute.
It's the one with the hammer picture.
Yes, it's got a hammer.
Yeah.
So it's.
The famous hammer picture.
I have seen this in more than one place,
Right.
and it's got a hammer
It's got
and 9 magazines and some little like a little monopod.
Right. So for those of you who don't know, I bought the company from a previous owner who took who basically he invented the flagship product, which is our Big Bertha 4 pistol range bag.
Oh, that was the first product.
It was our very first product,
Okay.
yeah. And that's kind of what we're famous for now. And basically, it's a bag where you could put like a person in. It's huge. And this guy went around at these Illinois gun shows, and the way you see it in the picture is the way he displayed it at the gun shows
With a hammer.
with the hammer. And the purpose of the hammer was to hammer like the target post into the ground. And I don't know. The reason why I keep it up on the website is because it's like such a famous picture that everybody talks about. It's
Well,
like,
I
dude,
look
what's
at
up
it-
with the hammer? It's
Well,
like
I
a good
look at it-
icebreaker.
Yeah, icebreaker. I look at it as 2 different things, right? So, number one comes to mind is when you're a hammer, everything's a nail,
Yep.
right? And the other part is you're like, I'm gonna hammer you. And then the other side is that you can't post a picture of a gun sometimes on Instagram and Facebook.
Correct.
So everyone kind of understands that, like, hey, there's a hammer.
Right.
Get
We
it
actually got banned for that, by the way, on Facebook. We're back on it now. But
Boy, it kind of scratches my head.
Yeah.
I scratch my head over that. But
yeah, definitely.
oh, here's Ava from whatchamacallit, Gun Funny.
She's great. I want to meet her dad.
I think Ava's kind of how we all connected.
Yeah, well,
She should know that, I think.
She should. She's
Yeah.
not like she'll ever listen to the podcast. I don't know what I did.
I'm gonna
to
share it
offend
with her.
She's like met me like for 30 seconds, and for some reason I think she thought I was somebody else.
Oh.
And I'm like, well, what's the deal, Ava? I mean, you got the vulture patches up on the wall, and she's like looked at me like, what?
That was like one of her first patches, right?
I know, right? Like we send her patches right away. We're like, hey, I hope you do great. Here's some patches.
Right.
Here's some liquid freakiness. Have some fun. And
I saw her at where do we? At the Golden Tiki. That's where I saw her.
Yeah. She was
yes.
with Manicure Arms.
Yeah.
Yep.
Do you remember what happens when
I called her. What did I call? I said, I want to meet your dad. And she's like, yeah, come on out to Colorado. her dad's the postman.
Yeah, isn't he Dragon Man?
No, postman. He's got more stamps than the post office.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
As I know him as the Dragon Man.
Yes.
He's kind of like underground famous.
Yes. Well, he's been on tons of shows and stuff like
Yeah.
that. I just heard
A lot of people don't
whatchamacallit.
connect the two between Ava and
Well, that's
him.
good because that's
Right.
what she was talking about.
She
the
wants
other-
that, I feel
She
like.
wants
Yeah.
that,
Yeah.
yeah. And that was just on the Skill Set podcast, too.
Okay.
Yeah, she was talking about that, about, like, I'm glad I can trade on my own name, which is good.
She wants her own identity. I understand
Yeah.
that.
Absolutely.
But she's been with We Like Shooting for a while. And
Yeah. Great group of guys, by the way.
I'm sorry. I'm not stalling. Guys, I'm not
big
stalling on that.
who's the
I
big
just
guy
had
with
a-
them?
I forgot his name. Sean's my favorite, though.
Yeah.
And I like the guy Aaron, too.
Aaron's funny.
Yeah.
And one of them lives right up this way.
Oh,
Does he?
really?
Yeah.
I thought he was further out.
No, there's.
I mean, the
one
guy
that's
looks
right
like Hulk Hogan. The guy's huge.
here. No,
It's
you're
like seven-
talking about the big animal.
Yeah,
I
the
can't think of
animal.
the same. The guy that chokes everybody out.
Oh,
were
yeah.
there.
We
He
like
doesn't
shooting
joke
parties.
anymore.
You were there. No.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
just the pictures.
Yeah. So you make these with a proprietary. All right, let's steer the
Sure.
crippled boat back, and every once in a while we're going to come back around
Yeah.
to square one here.
The boat has many holes.
The boat is, and only one oar. So you're making these out of some really cool materials,
Proprietary.
proprietary
Yes.
even. So you got the backpack. You acquired Hackett. I think you lit it on fire because when I met you, a year ago,
Yeah, we had 2 products.
2 products. You just released the belts.
Yes, the Primo leather gun belts and the custom belts. Have you seen the custom belts yet?
No, are they on the website?
Oh,
Yeah. Dude,
Yeah,
these
I
are
want
these
one
are
of
pretty
these.
cool.
What? All right. So first question. I don't care about
Sure.
anything else. Can I put a belt buckle on them?
Definitely.
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 Okay. Good. Then I'm sold. Then I want one. All right.
And the cool thing about the custom leather gun belts is that they're
Is that the-
reversible.
Is that the Primo?
No, it's the other one.
All right. So where we go? Range bags, rifle bags.
Go to
gun belts.
Yeah, gun belts. You'll see it there.
Self-explanatory.
what is the
Custom
thickness?
leather gun belt. Oh,
Yeah, we
whoa.
started doing custom stuff now.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
Red interior.
The,
You can what? You can pick all your colors.
Right.
Black Rambo.
Yeah. So like the thickness on them.
They hate me because I'm legal.
Yeah.
Oh, that's disgusting. Oh, here's a Trump belt.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
That's really got to get some traction, right?
Right. Yeah.
Trump
We don't try to
2020.
get too like political with things, but we just like to give people ideas on what they can do for their belt. So
Yeah. That's really cool. I
Yeah,
like that.
and
We're
the
going to
thi-
have to make some of those.
Yeah. It's
Right.
actually really fun on the website because when you start making your own belt, it customizes it live, and you could
Oh,
see
yeah?
you could see the changes on the belt live on your
Oh,
screen.
fun.
Yeah.
Oh, that's always taken my money.
Yeah.
Things like that have always
You
taken
won't
my
believe the
money.
price either.
Wait, $80?
$80 for a custom gun belt.
I'm sorry, 79.
$79.99. Yeah. So
Wow.
the
That's
thickness
nice.
on them too is a little bit over a quarter inch. We're coming out with these. Speaking of like newer products, we're coming out with these Big Daddy gun belts. They're going to be like 1.75 inches wide.
Wow, that's a lot of
Yeah, and
that's a lot
they're
of
gonna be
stiffness.
7 millimeters thick. Yeah,
7 mil
Yep.
and 1.75 inches wide.
right.
That's
I don't know what 7 millimeters translates to, but it's going to be like probably like 3/8 of an inch or a little more. So,
Is that American or European?
That's
I don't
gotta be
understand.
close.
I'm confused.
that's got to be close to a
yeah,
quarter
I'm always
inch.
flip flopping back and forth, but yeah. But yeah, the custom belts is something new that we're doing, and
That's really cool. I like the Primo belt too.
oh my gosh, yeah,
Now, can I put a belt buckle on that?
definitely.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, because I got these wicked 1881 belt buckles
Ooh.
that are in the works.
I want one. I like that.
And they come with a Primo price tag too. I got
You
the
can put it on the Primo belt.
Yeah, got it. I got the price from the silversmith, and they're like, "You sure you want to do this, this, and this?" I said, "Well, it really makes it look like a championship rodeo
Come
buckle."
on, we're a high end range right now.
I know. Right? This is.
You're going to be a bear, be a grizzly. Huh?
Speaking of 1881, could I get some updates? I've been really dying to hear what's
Yeah.
been going on.
Yeah, well, we've basically we have. I don't want to say been fighting because it hasn't been much of a fight. It's been more of a stall and wait type
Okay.
thing. So we
Things
went
take a
through.
while.
It does, and we make jokes, and we made jokes with a couple of folks from NSSF. As last time we were shot last year, and we said, well, Somebody looked at me just, well, no, we were on the phone. Let me get this straight. There's so many pieces and parts. We were on the phone, and I was talking with somebody from the NSSF, and I said, well, we're doing this, 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 and this, and this. And he kind of chuckled, and he's like, well, what year are you in? And I said, well, I'm still in the first year. And he's like, and you've gotten that far? And I said, yeah. Why? Is that good or bad? And he's like, well, that's really good. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I think it's bad. I think it's horrible. I said, why should we be breaking ground by now?
I want more progress.
I've got over almost a year in this project, and I still can't put a shovel in the ground. And he goes, you do realize that getting a nuclear waste dump would be easier to put in someplace than a gun range. And I went,
I believe it.
I said, yeah, you're probably right, huh? And he's like, consider yourself lucky that you've gotten in and you've gotten done, you've got your zoning, you've got everything finished, and you're just finishing up these last little pieces of parts, and you're within that year time frame. And I said, wow. And he goes, so are you going to get a shovel in the ground within 1 year? I said, well, yeah. If everything goes the way it's supposed to go, yes, we will have a shovel in the ground in the next 30 days.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, then you beat everybody. I can't think of anybody. And I'm like, what? And I'm sitting there kind of scratching my head because I've been doing nothing but beating my head against the wall.
Sure.
And it's hurry up and wait. So for those of you that have been listening and watching and waiting, and it's been a trial in futility because it's a hurry up and wait. Mm-hmm. They got another 30 days. And that 30 days doesn't coincide with the next 30 days, so you got to wait actually 45 days before you can submit for the next 30 days. So there's always this offshoot of time. But we're pretty much finished. We're in the home stretch.
I feel like it already exists. Like, the presence is there where, like, we're doing the podcast right now, per se, right? Mm-hmm. Like, I feel
we're kind of putting what are these? What is this number? Like, we're on what? Number
this is
2
not cart before the horse.
No, you don't think so? I'm putting the cart before the horse a little bit.
No.
We started the podcast before we got a shovel in the ground.
No, I feel like what do I want to say? Like, the spirit of 1881 has been alive, like, ever since I met you. And, like, it's really, I was really impressed when I met you about a year ago.
Okay.
I was really impressed with, like, how energetic you were about it and everything like that. And
I wasn't high on speed or anything, right?
Maybe you were. I don't know.
You didn't meet me in Vegas. You met me locally, right?
Smoking a little
Yeah,
crystal
I met
at the truck stop.
I met you at the Kankakee, like, gun show or something like that. Or what was it, Chris?
Well, that's before I was kicked in the political you-know-whats for 6 months. So, yeah, I probably had a lot of enthusiasm.
Well, the thing is, though, is that the progress you've made from when I've met you to a year later to now is crazy. And, like,
it is, I guess.
Yeah.
When you say that, I got to take a step back and go.
Definitely, you should.
Like, okay, what actually have I gotten done? And then I look at it and I think about it for a second, just like what you said. And it's like, it is pretty crazy.
Can I put this in perspective for you? It took us a year to make the rifle burrito, and you're making a dang gun range.
Well, not only a gun range, but I'm making this private club.
Right, you're making the club.
Right, with teepees,
the club,
the clubhouse, and off-roading. And believe it or not, some of the off-roading has gotten people so polarized that it's just, I have to scratch my head about it.
I hope you do the yurts, because I really like that idea.
I don't know if we're going to do the yurt.
Okay.
We might do one. If you want it, we'll do one.
Can I get a Hackett yurt?
Why not? I don't see why not.
We can put your name on anything.
The teepees, the teeny homes, or the teeny cabins, whatever you want to call them, I think are going to be awesome. And it's such a family-oriented place that I scratch my head as to why people are so polarized with it.
I believe in it, man. Yeah.
A lot of people do. And a lot of people are sitting there waiting for this thing to kick off. And they're quietly sitting there. And they've all said to me, hey, it's almost like to the point where it's like a build it and you will come, and they will come. I'm just holding my breath for a moment.
I believe they will come, for sure.
I hope so. I think there's a ton of people in the Midwest that have really been neglected. We don't get
We're
this
all
kind
considering on moving to Indiana anyway, so you're just going to be there before us.
I'm going to pave the way. Don't worry. I'll tell you where to move in.
And Illinois, if you're listening, Hackett Equipment may be moving to Indiana pretty soon. So,
well, that was one of the main pushes why I left.
Yeah.
Like why I packed up everything and I pushed really hard with the ranch because I don't want to stay here anymore.
Right.
There's no reason why I should be giving in Illinois any of my money, especially with the silly
It gets more and more
firearms
silly.
permits.
Yeah.
The firearms permits for manufacturing and retail and things. It's like you can't.
Even the FOID cards are ridiculous.
I know.
I just bought a new car, a month ago, and there was a fee on there for Cook County. Everybody that buys a brand new car has to pay. It was a some type of bullshit assessment. It was $20. I'm like, what is this? Well, everybody in Cook County, when they buy a brand new car, they have to pay this fee. That's what I was told.
$20 fee.
It may have been more or less. I don't. There was some bullshit fee.
Wow.
And when anybody buys a AR in Cook County, oh wait, you can't.
What?
You can't buy an AR in Cook County. I mean, you can't carry one anyway. Like, you can't own one.
Really?
Yeah.
You need one?
I scratch my head at it, but you know what? I see how the left tries to, and we don't want to get down the political road, but I see how the left tries to, just manipulate everyone's thoughts and to make it seem like there are more people out there that think this way than they really do. But when you talk to people, you can go into Cook County and go anywhere and be like, hey, you like guns? They're like, well, yeah, guns keep me safe.
Yeah.
Like, why would you want to take away my guns? You take away my guns, I can't.
To keep everybody safe.
Right. And, I can, hurt you with a car. I can hurt you with a hammer. I can hurt you with a spoon. What's that line from Grosse Pointe?
I think
Grosse Pointe Blank?
tablespoon full of water you can like drown somebody in.
Probably could. But, killed the president of Paraguay with a spoon.
Right.
That was Cusack's line from
Sounds
Grosse
like,
Pointe
like
Blank.
John Wick with the pencil.
Exactly. So it's like when you look at the national statistics coming out of the FBI, and the FBI is not really what I would consider neutral to right. I would say they lean a little bit more to the left, right?
Right.
They can't hide from it. I think more people are killed every year with feet and hands than they are with, and I'm sure someone's going to post something about this, like, oh my God, he's off his rocker, but that was the last consensus that came out of the FBI in 2016. They're always a couple years behind, but with their dissemination of data, but it was hands and feet kill more people than guns. You got to wrap your head around that.
I really hope those feet don't stink,
Would you care? You're dead. You're going to go up to the pearly gates and St.
your way
Peter's
out.
going to be like, hey, you know what? Whew, you stink. You're not coming in here.
On your way out, you don't want to smell somebody's feet as they're trying to like strangle you,
I got to tell you, I kind of agree with you. Yeah, I don't want to be smelling someone's feet thinking the last thing running through my head is like, man, your feet stink.
Right.
Yeah, so we're really close with the ranch. We're really close. We're just finalizing the last minute things about
excited,
membership. Man. That should go live second week of December.
Wow.
So we're going to send out emails to everyone, and you'll get 2 emails. Everyone that's signed up on the membership list right away, they're going to get 2 emails right away, and everyone will get their founding membership who's on the list so far. I mean, we've got over 180 people that are there, like,
Committed.
Yeah. They want it to go.
Well, I know everybody I talk to about this, 1881 Ranch, they get excited about it. They're like, really? There's a place that I can go that's not too far from Chicago, and
we're 1 hour outside of Chicagoland.
And I could basically, do
hour and a half
all the things I can't do around Chicago.
I mean, there's plenty of ranges where you can shoot full autos, but when you shoot a full auto outside, it's got a little different feel.
And then the whole thing about it being a little bit more high end, a little more club feeling. It's something that a lot of people, I think,
we wanted to fill that niche.
Right.
We wanted to fill that niche. There's a few ranges that are outdoors that fit their members' needs, and then there's nothing else. And when you go out west and out east, there's plenty of ranges that are actually very quiet, very private, and they're centered around a family environment where everything is safe. That. You know who your other members are. You know that they've gone through the same types of safety classes and holster endorsements and things like that. Mm-hmm. They've actually sat down with an instructor before they're able to do any of that. So you know that there's a level of commitment from the member to be safe.
It isn't an open door policy.
Just because you
Right.
can pay your money doesn't mean you're going to be coming on the range.
Yeah,
Like, we're not going to let you on the range until you pass your safety.
definitely.
Yeah, it's just, remember, my children are going to be there too.
Yeah,
And I've got a saying on there is, there's no crazy stuff on the range.
Mm-hmm.
It's, there's too many things that can go wrong. So you need to treat it,
with respect,
with
as
respect.
you should, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's no different than going to a bar and pounding down, 12 shots and getting in your car.
Right.
You're in control of that vehicle. It's a piece of machinery. You're
Yeah.
in control of that firearm. It's a piece of machinery.
And the more you're around firearms and just like the whole thing, you begin to respect it a lot more too. Like, because you sometimes
scary.
you see, when people are just getting into it, like you see accidents, and it's freaky sometimes. Like you see how people can mishandle things and not have proper safety and things like that.
Yeah, it really is. I got the comment of when you go to a gun range, you see all the holes in the ceiling,
Yeah, right,
and I'm like, well, you see those because it's a public range.
right.
You don't see people.
You won't see one at 1881.
No, you're not going to see that because you just don't. People are going to spend a few extra minutes.
Yeah,
Right? I mean, they don't want to get kicked off the range,
yeah,
right, and lose their money, lose their membership, especially when you're dealing with a founding membership, which is going to be basically locked into a price for the rest of your membership.
right.
Right. All right, selfie. There we go.
Take a little
1,
picture there.
2, 3. All right, good. Thanks. Didn't I get chastised by the man cow for doing that?
Well, you took a few more pictures than that on Mancow.
So what? So I took 6. I couldn't get the I couldn't get the right photo.
I think a few more than that.
Wow.
How was Mancow, by the way?
It was a good time.
Yeah,
It was a great time.
I'm
It was
sure
like
you guys
sitting
had
in a
fun.
room with a tornado, a
Yeah.
verbal tornado. It was amazing. What he was doing, it was just like, my head hurt. But we're really close.
cool.
A few more weeks. We're finished. We're done. We're going to get moving. And we'll start open up.
love
Second
that.
week is memberships. And
2020 then, or
Yeah, 2020,
okay.
definitely.
Cool.
It'll take me about 7 months to get the clubhouse, 8 months to get the clubhouse up and operational. We'll have the ranges done by midsummer. We'll have a couple of TPs done right away, but it should take us all of 2020 to finish off, just because we're starting late now.
Yeah. Will you open your doors and while you're still under construction with other things?
We'll be having some private events,
Okay.
for our founding members and that.
I
So
better be invited.
well, I don't know if you're going to be a private, if you're going to be a founding member, then definitely.
Okay. There you go.
So we'll have some of the ranges open for those private events and things like that.
Okay.
We're going to be doing a lot with a couple manufacturers like Daniel Defense and H&K and some things like that.
Sure.
So we're going to have those guys come out. They're going to be doing some of their videos. We're also going to have our own production company on
Yeah.
staff, so we're going to be doing that. We'll on our own classes. What comes with your founding membership, though, is really cool. We'll do a Q&A episode. What do you think, Chris? Just on
I like it.
founding membership,
Sure.
right? And
'Cause I think a lot of people would be interested in that.
I think so, especially because one of the perks that comes with your founding membership is free staff classes. So courses that are put on by my staff. And I know it kind of might sound like, oh, yeah, some guy at the gun range. No.
Some old guy wearing a vest and going to teach me how to shoot. Yeah, right. I've been through. Okay.
Yeah, no, that's not it.
That sucks.
My background is training a lot in simunitions and tier 1 operations and things like that. So we come from
Yeah,
a
what
different.
you were explaining to me earlier, what you were training people in and all that. Was
We were
insane.
doing that. Yeah, as soon as the trade towers fell, that's what we did. Our simunitions facility was top notch. It was only one of 3 in the world.
Who was our other friend? What was he teaching? Explosives, or what was he doing? Our friend that's going to be working out there
Which one?
with all the tats. Who was he with? He was teaching explosives for the DOD, or what? what was it? He was teaching something.
There's so many guys. I'm drawing a blank right now because you said
I just remember like some of the things you were describing, like how you were doing the training and stuff, was just really incredible and like next level
and
dynamic type of stuff.
That's all the rage now, right? So that's the basis and that's the principle behind all of the curriculums that I put together for, federal law enforcement, for Department of the Army, for for Tier 1 groups, as well as all the way down to like law enforcement and street officers. So that's all going to be there. And it's what's caught up to the industry is kind of caught up to it now. It's been copied and everything like that. But I don't want to get down that because that's not a rabbit hole. That's more like a flooded out mole hole.
There is so much to talk about with like all of this stuff. Like, it's really hard to like put it in one episode,
Yeah, how do you do it?
You can't.
Because you always keen to go like, we're going to go over here and talk about this. And it's kind of hard to stay on track.
Yeah, and I mean, you've got like how many years of experience? So many.
20.
And, like 20 years and, like.
All sorts of gun-related things that came up after once I started getting into my professional career. But, the staff classes are going to be really cool because they're free to you. So as long as there's room in the class, you sign up, you show up, and it's free.
Right.
I mean, you want to take a high-level course for free? Yeah. Okay, so I'm not an expert from afar. But the guy coming in is going to teach you the same exact thing.
That's really cool to have that access.
It is. It is. I think it's important. Plus the women's only range, you have no idea how many women have been like, how many wives and things have been like, oh, really? I get my own range? And you're going to get your own female instructor. So you don't have to worry about some...
that's a great idea.
Some gorilla coming over the top and be like,
that.
No, baby, you got to hold it this way.
Yeah.
Nah, that's not cool. I don't want that.
That's a great idea. Because, I mean, that's going to help, get, women more comfortable. I'm sure the ones who are already comfortable,
It's intimidating, when some guy comes up and pounding away. And,
it's intimidating for me.
Exactly. Most people, when they come into the shooting sports, they take, a handgun class or they take a concealed carry class and they have no background in the subject matter, and to have access to more classes before you get a super high level instructor to come in and teach classes that they have no background in, because nobody would want to take a class with a Travis Haley. You wouldn't be allowed to take that level class unless you have a background in that subject matter. Mm-hmm. You're not going to take a combative carbines class with someone and you've never even fired your carbine.
Yeah. So you kind of have to work your way up through the instructor.
You've got to walk before you run.
Right.
And then when someone like that comes in and you want to take that course, you've got the preliminaries so you can take that kind of class.
Yeah, I like that. I completely agree.
This is really easy. It's a Pistol 1 course. There's a Pistol 2, Pistol 3. Then we get into the tactical stuff. When we build the live fire shoot house, I mean, that's going to have people just...
Shotgun.
Yeah, exactly. So there's a rifle, there's a shotgun. When I put the Tombo range in, the walking range for doing safari training or tactical, walking, jungle operations and things like that with some steel poppers, I mean, people are just going to absolutely just freak.
Yeah.
Because it's just something that no one's
something you can't get anywhere else either. Yeah.
And in the Midwest, I think we've been starved
here
for so many years.
Yeah.
And then to spend a little bit of time on the range, jump over, get on your UTV or your ATV and run around and do some of this, or get into your off-road truck and go do some articulation and spend the afternoon with your kid, the rest of the afternoon, fishing for bass or like even just hanging out on the patio.
Yeah.
Just have yourself a cigar if you want. There's always going to be food events based there and cooking and guest speakers. So it's a I don't want to say it's a country club, but if you take a real country club and what a real social and country club is, and just replace the golf clubs with teepees, fishing, and shooting and off-roading, that's what it is.
How about we make it a destination?
It's definitely a destination.
It's totally a destination.
And I could even see like restaurants and stuff start opening around it as well,
Well, we're 2 miles south of the Fair Oaks Dairy.
Oh, so there you go.
I mean, we've got a lot of things, with the McCloskeys and their wonderful campus over there that just... There's so much there. There's multiple restaurants. There's cheese.
If I can just say this, they have the best ice cream in the world.
Chris went out there with me
a few times. Yeah.
And I said, you've got to try the ice cream.
I'm not a very big ice cream. The family aspect then too.
Exactly. Plus with all the tours and the dairy and the tourism there, and they've got a couple nice restaurants. I mean, how big was that bone you took home to your dog, Chris?
3 feet by a foot. I mean, it was the biggest bone you've ever seen.
Yeah.
It was,
So we got one of the bone-in tomahawk ribeyes.
Oh, yeah.
And this thing came with at least a 2-foot
you could have
bone.
murdered someone with that bone.
Totally. He laid it down for his little dog, and the
Wow.
dog just looked at him and backed away
Thank
from
you,
it.
Daddy.
Yeah. No. The dog ran away from him. He's
Oh,
like,
the
what do you
dog
want me
ran
to do
away.
with that?
Oh, I
No,
thought
what
Chris
is-
ran away. Yeah. Well, I think that this is going to bring a lot more to the community than a lot of people think it would.
Yeah.
You know, and not just, you know, the stakeholders in 1881, but even outside and around as well. So
Thanks.
that's why I believe in this mission so much. So.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's great. We're definitely going to have all the Hackett equipment there in the shop, you know, in the pro shop. So
Yeah.
that's fun. And we're going to have some fun times.
I like
think
it.
We're going to do some cool. So what's next for Hackett equipment?
Yeah.
Where are you going now? You've got bags, you got rifle
We seem to be
burritos,
going
you
everywhere.
got belts,
Yeah. Steel targets, too.
steel targets. Yeah, we didn't talk
Chris
about
is
the
showing
steel
me the
targets.
picture of that bone. That is a huge bone.
It's massive. Well, that did go across the table, didn't it?
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's wider than my chest, dude. I got a 50-inch chest.
Yeah. Yeah, so Hackett equipment, I mean, besides maybe going to Indiana, I think we have reached our limit as far as like horizontally where we want to go. I don't see us getting into too many different other product categories. What we're going to start doing is focusing on growing vertically now. And that means more bags, more glasses. Like, surprisingly enough, like, I know we're known for our bags, but our glasses are the biggest seller. They've, you know, by the tens of thousands, we've sold more glasses than I ever thought we could.
Well, what's kind of funny is on one of the next episodes that was just recorded that comes in after this is Sam and I talk about a 24-hour kit.
Okay.
And one of the things that I always talk about with new hunters, survival, military operations, contracting world, whatever, is always have a really good pair of safety glasses
Yeah.
on. And what you don't understand is that whether it's, you know, tinted glass or it's photosensitive glass or clear glass, it doesn't matter. You need that to cover your eyeballs because when one of your eyeballs is gone, it takes you a solid year to accumulate, you know, to acclimate to that having one eyeball.
I'm sure you're probably disoriented.
And it
for
takes
a long
nothing
time.
but a stick to poke you in the eye. And we talked about that. And most of the time people discount it. So if you're offering that kind of thing, yeah, I can totally see that.
Yeah, and I think eyeglass awareness is probably being, you know, a little is increasing a lot now. You know, before
Can we customize them like the belts?
Tell us about your safety glasses. Let's hear about this. What are
Yeah.
they rated at? Let's give us a little info.
yeah,
here.
these things are mil spec. They're ANSI rated, all that good stuff.
So there's a
And,
tab on the website, right?
yeah,
So it's
under shooting glasses.
Hackett with 2 T's.
HackettEquipment.com.
Okay, and it's under shooting glasses.
Under shooting glasses, yeah. Hackett, HACKETT, equipment.com.
You should have probably done that in the beginning.
That's okay. If you listened this far, I know you're serious.
Exactly, right?
Do you get all that with those when you buy them?
Yeah, so our safety glasses are $25, and they come with a lifetime warranty.
Okay. Well, they look like ESS glasses.
Yeah, they're similar.
They got the foam liner around the outside.
You could take the foam in and out. And,
you can?
Yeah, it comes with 4 different lenses: hard case, soft case, and
What color lenses are you getting?
you're getting yellow. You're getting mirror, smoke, clear.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Good. All right. So the same glasses you can use for hunting,
Yes,
clear.
you could use these for anything. A lot
and
of
then you can
people
use them
even
for
ride
shooting.
motorcycles with them too,
There you
or
go.
mow their lawn. Like some people buy like 3 or 4 at a time for all different uses. So
Well, they're $24.99, right? And you're
Yep.
getting. Let me get this picture here. So you're getting
Look at all the stuff you get.
glasses. You're getting your
you
frames.
get so much stuff. Yeah, you're not
And you're
going to find a
getting
better deal on the internet.
4
right
different
now.
sets of lenses, including your clears, and then you're getting.
with it. You get the bag with it.
You get the bag,
Yep.
the soft bag, the hard case, and the lens tissue, the lens wipe.
Yep.
And then you've got an elastic band that clips onto the temples.
Oh yeah. They turn into goggles too.
Oh, it doesn't clip onto the. Oh, that's cool.
The arms come off, and
the arms come off.
Yeah, and like so, if you're shooting like a long day on the range, sometimes the arms they kind of hurt your temples.
Well, especially with hearing protection.
Yes, exactly. When you're wearing the hearing.
Yeah.
Yep. So
You won't have that much of that problem though at 1881 because we're going to be rocking all suppressors. No, I'm just kidding.
I wish.
Well, that's one
Don't
of
tempt me.
that's one of the cool things about being on the ranch and being, like you can literally. I don't want to say own your own suppressor, but you can have your own suppressor.
Yeah.
It can't leave the grounds.
Right.
But it's there. It's for you.
I
All
like
you gotta do
that.
is check it out, go to the range, and
And you cannot get that in Chicago
no.
or in Illinois. Period.
No. I mean, here, let's say, if you take it off the property, I am going to call the feds because I'm
I
not
will
going to
personally.
I will not be wearing an orange jumpsuit for your,
Right.
for your. Oh, I'm going to take this home and show it to my mom and dad.
Yep.
No, it's not going to happen like that.
Now, the ATF made it very clear you cannot bring that back to Illinois. And if you're driving through Illinois, you are driving through.
You are not stopping.
overnighting
No,
at
you're not.
all.
Right.
Yeah. Well, that's a really good deal for $24.99.
Yeah, and we've got 3 different other glasses coming out really soon, so I'm excited for that.
You get to pick your frame color.
Yeah, they come in black, OD
You got a
green.
pair of them with you?
I do not have a pair of the glasses with me.
Pink.
They come in pink for the
solid.
ladies. Yeah,
Very solid.
Well, the pink could be for anyone. It doesn't have to be.
You know what we got to
ladies.
do is we got to put the little 1881 Buffalo on the side of that there with
we
the
definitely
Hackett.
we actually could do that pretty easily.
Can
so,
you?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yep,
yes.
absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah. So,
That's very cool. I like the new logo too, by the way.
oh, thank you. Definitely better than the
Yes.
cursive looking logo we had before.
Well, that one's good because I mean, even on my custom knives,
I'm
I've
glad
got
you
a-
thought so.
I've got a W with that same like curl around
Okay.
the outside of it. Now there's a little bit of
curly
a gear.
Q.
Yeah, there's a little bit of a gear to the outside of the squiggle, but
Yeah.
now you've got to have a little switch up on the stuff, like we were talking earlier with the bag. Like
Right.
you don't want it to scream tactical necessarily. You want to be able
Yeah.
to offer that, to somebody who believes in the gray man theory or the gray person theory, right? I mean, do we have the gray LGBTQ XYZ
Yeah.
That would be more
Right.
of a beige, maybe.
taupe?
Taupe.
Taupe, yes. But you want to make that distinction where I'm not carrying a gun bag,
Right.
right?
Exactly.
So I think that other logo fits really cool.
And we put the new logo out there because we kind of had a newer, I guess, brand mission than previously, you know. So
Tell us about it.
yeah, so like right now we kind of think of ours before. When we had 2 products only, and we were known for like the Big Bertha. We were kind of like a covert gear company,
Okay.
And I think that's why we had the swooshy logo with the curly Q.
That still works though.
Yeah, it does work, but we wanted to be more
modern,
refined,
Yeah. Okay.
more refined, and a lot of people like based on like feedback from customers wanted something more. We're all about serving the customer, so
You kind of have to be.
yes, exactly.
I mean, that's the only reason I went down the Cerakote line with the knives.
yeah,
So
yeah,
everybody wanted Cerakote, and then when I did the Cerakote, the funny thing happened is everybody wanted that stonewash look.
and they wanted something.
They wanted the
else, yeah.
stonewash look again. I'm like, wait a minute, you just told me you didn't like that, and you
Yeah.
wanted this instead, so I gave you this. And that. Yeah, it's kind of hard. You've got to make yourself kind of malleable to the changing tides because it's very fickle. The customer is
Right.
extremely fickle.
And at this point we started hitting like mass market stuff. Like we got into Xanders, and we've
Oh, nice.
yeah, we're distributing on a national level now, and because of that, we wanted something that appealed to more people, and that's how this logo came about. We never lost any of our values. Like if you message us, even at night, we're gonna get back to you within an hour. You know what I mean? Like our customer service is awesome, and it's gonna continue to be awesome as long as I'm at the helm here.
Good.
Yeah, but I don't know where I was going with that, but yeah.
Well, it's a good hole to fill. I mean, you've got to be able to, handle the customer because their needs are very, I don't want to say fickle and quick, but in the age of everyone gets everything instantaneously.
Right.
I hit the button and I have all the information right at my fingertips. I can go on Amazon, dunk, it's done. In
Right.
3 clicks, I'm done. I'm over with. I'm off the phone or off the tab, and my package is coming tomorrow.
You know,
right?
the key is to keep your values, you know? Like, you could change the company however you want it, but if you keep your values the same, you know, like how you were talking about 1881 and how, you know, you're going to have, like, strict rules at the range and all that stuff and have a good, friendly environment.
Mm-hmm.
Those family values are going to carry over for a lifetime, you know? And we're not here
Yeah.
for, like, a 1 or 2 year thing. We're here for the long haul, so.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, that's good to have.
Just
All
how
right.
I feel like you guys are, too.
Well, that's the object. I mean, that's why all the companies that are kind of leading up to the 1881 between Gray Lotus, which is now what Trident Special Operations has morphed into over the years. It's now Gray Lotus, so that's the training and division. And then you've got, you know, Vulture Equipment Works is doing all the hard goods. The
You guys
custom
have the coolest
firearms.
names.
Well,
Gray Lotus, I like that.
do you?
Yeah.
You like that?
I do.
don't know.
It's kind of like...
kind of wishy-washy on it now.
I like it.
Some
yeah.
years back, it was kind of like before all the whole gray thing, and
Well, it's like
Batman
there's like a
with the-
Zen aspect to it.
kind of, yeah.
I like it.
Thanks.
Yeah.
It's so between that and, you know, Vulture Equipment Work with all the custom stuff and the OEM products and things like that, and then the ranch, and then other companies like yourself and, you know, Daniel Defense and who is the I have to mention Greg Turnbull, because I mean he makes some amazing firearms, and when I met him at NRA, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it was NRA. I stood and talked with him for a few minutes about some of the custom firearms that we want to bring into the pro shop right away, because our pro shop is not going to be, not to pick on M&P or Glock, you know, that's not what I'm doing, but you know, like, oh, you got the new M&P, here's the new Glock, here's the new this. No, yes, you will have those offerings, but the focus of the pro shop is, oh my God,
Pro gear.
there's a Glock with a, you know, a Greg Turnbull slide.
Doug
Yeah.
Turnbull.
Oh, Doug Turnbull. And I'm sitting here looking at Greg, and there's that recurring, you know, BI.
Have you met? Have
No,
you
I've
ever?
not met Doug.
Okay.
He's a great guy.
Yeah.
He really is
you,
a cool
You guys
dude.
should introduce me.
if you went to hunting,
That's cool.
you've seen his work, and
I bet I've seen his face
He did
in
it-
the company around.
He
for
did
sure.
a colored case hardened AR-15, 20 years ago,
Yeah,
and it lit the world
with the
on
wood
fire.
grip.
Really?
Yeah,
with the
wood
grip,
furniture.
With the wood furniture. Yeah.
Yeah, and it lit the world on fire.
The wood furniture is
People
awesome.
just absolutely just were like,
Yeah, it was in Sports Afield magazine, and that was like
oh my
Yeah.
God, he broke the internet before the internet was around.
right.
Well, and then they have that kind of stuff at the pro shop. You know, that's pretty serious.
Yeah,
you
I mean,
know?
like we're going to do some turnkey things, like for
Yeah.
the long range side. You're going to walk
sure.
in and you're going to be able to buy a long range rifle with an optic, sighted in, zeroed, balanced. Here's some of the new Hornady ammunition. Done. You can go out there and drill 1,000 yards all day long right now, and just
good to go right from the gate.
right from the
On
get go. Right.
Our range.
Yes.
Right.
So from the moment you walk into the clubhouse, and then you walk into the lounge, the gun lounge, which is going to be set up like an Abercrombie and Fitch old style store,
Kind of
from
like a
the 60s.
library. It sounds
Yes,
like, right?
very much like that
Cool.
old English,
I like that.
right? Like
Before people knew about Abercrombie and Fitch.
I know we were just
Right?
talking about that the other day. Abercrombie and Kent. Abercrombie. That's the outfitter.
I've seen some of their old catalogs, and it's incredible what
Oh,
they used to
yes.
do before the teenagers got a hold of it.
before the Limited purchased the
Yeah.
name and turned it into little boys with
Right.
6-pack abs
Yeah.
and clothes
And
hanging
perfume
off.
spraying everywhere. Yeah.
What was the other one? Banana Republic.
Banana
Banana
Republic.
Republic.
Yeah, I
There was a
actually read a
kid.
book on them.
I actually
wow.
remember buying clothing out of Banana Republic.
They
Right.
started
Not-
with old surplus gear,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And then they turned into a boutique wear for people who were traveling
Okay.
with the safari
Right.
vests
Yeah,
and
yeah,
the,
yeah, yeah.
the pockets and everything. And then they went away.
I was at their store in Massachusetts, Boston. It would be early '80s. As a kid, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And now
I
it's kind
remember
of like
the-
this wishy-washy, like casual business.
Yeah.
Like
Well, it's not
clothes
the same
looking-
company.
It's not even close. Yeah.
No, it's not the same company.
Oh, okay.
It's completely gone. Like Banana Republic died, just like Abercrombie and Fitch.
Yeah.
That died.
Yeah.
Abercrombie and Kent revitalized themselves, but they've
Oh,
always
really?
been in the
Okay.
travel side.
Gotcha.
Right.
Right. So whereas Fitch was the outfitter, so you'd walk in there and you'd be able to buy, beautiful side by side double rifles, all the way to your Safari and everything in between. right? So if you wanted boots all the way to the Safari and everything in between, that was Abercrombie and Fitch and Abercrombie and Kent. So that's how that started. And then Banana Republic. Mm-hmm. And I had no idea. I was buying equipment, or I was buying things, my hats and, jungle scarves and things like that. I didn't even realize, this is how old the brand was, or the store was. I didn't even realize what a Banana Republic was.
Oh, yeah.
I had no idea. I'm like, wow, Banana Republic, that's a cool story.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, that's a cool name.
The name is kind of risque,
Yeah, and now you look at it, you're like, Banana Republic. Ooh. Wow,
Yeah.
That's really kind of...
I don't know if that would fly nowadays. Right?
I kind of wonder why they're getting away with selling chinos.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's kind of... It's kind of weird how everything kind of comes back around. And that's what the whole thing with the ranch was, is that there is the spot where you can get a private outfitter to kind of guide you through the process. You want a double rifle? We know guys at Wesley Richards. We know guys at Boss. We know this.
You guys
we
know lots of guys.
We do. And unfortunately, or fortunately, whichever was side of the...
I think
coin
fortunately.
Fortunately. I like to think that.
Whatever side of the cognac you're on.
I like that. Chris, remember that. Yeah. Whichever side of the cognac you're on. The Napoleon's cognac you're on, right? You have access to these types of things where I can make a few phone calls. Like the guys from Gunworks, they heard what I was doing, and they're like, do you have any idea how many rifles we sell into the Midwest, the Chicagoland area? And I said, oh, yeah, probably thousands. And they're like, oh, totally. I said, why? Do you know why? And he's like, I know why. Do you know why? And we're having this fun with the VP and I, and we're like,
it's like a chess game.
I'm like, I know exactly. It's the line from Jurassic Park. There's too many crazy rich dentists. And he laughed, and he's like, you have no idea, but these guys, they all want the best equipment, and I can't.
Yeah.
I mean, look at my truck.
I would too
look
if I
at
had
all the
the
stuff
money,
that I do. Exactly. I mean, when you only have a certain amount of time, right? You don't fill your life with half-assed stuff.
Right.
Right? We want to enjoy the finer things to your level, right? So let's say you can't afford a $5,000 or $10,000 rifle, but you can afford your yearly membership to 1881. Now you're in the club.
Yeah.
Right? And you're right there. And I don't know of anybody that would sit there with a $10,000 or $20,000 precision rifle or a $5,000 handgun on the range, look at their fellow member and be like, oh, no, you don't get to shoot my gun.
Yeah.
I don't know of anybody that's ever
done that. It's kind of about sharing anyway.
Yeah.
You know?
It's who your other members are, because there's not that many of them.
Yeah.
Most of our members, it isn't about the cost of your gun. It's about having a membership to a club where it's safe. You get access to things you normally wouldn't see or have. Mm-hmm. How many guys do we know that,
like-minded people probably too, right?
That is one of the biggest selling points, and I discounted it when we started, that phrase of like-minded people.
I know that's why I would definitely want to be in this thing.
Yeah.
So.
And I don't...
you want access to a place that's safe.
Yeah.
I want
that
access
too.
to a
Yeah.
place I can go and shoot.
Yeah.
And then past that, you want access to that place that you feel welcome. I don't want to say it's like the Cheers of gun ranges, but...
I want a clean bathroom afterwards, okay? I want a level of amenities that you just don't get in the Midwest at gun ranges.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's even most of the higher end outdoor ranges around the country. And not to say that this is not going to have its moments where, oh God, we've got to fix this problem. We got to fix this problem. We got to fix.
As any business has.
Exactly. Everybody's got that. I don't care what you're doing. If it's Amazon,
you're going to get your feedback and you're going to adjust accordingly.
You know it, right? So that's not a big deal. But the pro shop needs to be where you can go and experience a lot of these things, or have access to, Night Force scopes.
And I feel like I'm already there.
The guys from Gunworks were like, you're going to do what? I said, yeah, this is what I'm doing. This is where I'm putting my money and my energy and my reputation. And they're like, we're in. Yeah. I'm like, what do you mean you're in? They're like, whatever it takes, we're in. We want to be there.
When you walk into our pro shop, there's going to be someone there. You're going to come in on a weekend, and there'll be people
someone
there
knowledgeable
from certain companies representing their brand.
Right.
Yeah.
Not some 15-year-old pimple-faced kid that doesn't know what he's talking about, just trying to sell crap to sell crap. No, we're talking real educated people.
Yeah. Somebody who's passionate about the industry and passionate about the products. And, you can go on Amazon and get some cost-effective stuff. And most of it works great.
Yeah.
But then there's the other side where you buy once, cry once. And I've always lived my life on that principle, and I talk about it from time to time. You're money ahead in the long run.
Yeah.
Because all you're going to do is you're going to nickel and dime yourself to death. And if you put those numbers together at the end of the year or the end of 5 years, and you look at your junk sitting on the wall and you're like, boy, I really wish I didn't spend that money. And I wish I'd have just, in the beginning, bought a Knight's Armament or bought a Daniel. Or
that's kind of how I am. That's my philosophy. I'm like very minimalist, especially with firearms. Like I've been in the, community, I guess, for a really long time. And like I only own like 7 guns.
Well, we're going to change that.
But the thing is,
I think I have that in my car. What?
Here's the thing, though, is that
when the guy breaks in the middle of the night,
serves a purpose. Like
I really have to go through 7 or 8 choices just to get out of bed.
I don't want to have to go through choices.
What am I going to pop this dude with?
Sure, no, I hear you. But to contrast and to kind of go along with your point is that I have a friend who got into guns maybe 2 years ago.
Okay,
he's got like 300, and I just kind of like shake my head. Like, I don't even know if he knows how to shoot every single one of them, Like,
well, my hat's off to him that he can do that, right?
It's pretty crazy.
Bravo.
It's like he buys them by the pallet, I guess. I don't know.
Bravo. But on the other side, I see your point because there's a couple of my guns that I just look at and I'm like, wow, I'm really glad I spent the extra money and I've got that. Because guys walk in and they see my collection and they're like, what is that?
Yeah.
And I'm like, you won't find that Springfield Armory anywhere else.
Yeah.
They only made that for a little bit in my SWAT team and my deal. And, personally, that's what I carried. That's what we built. And it came out of the custom shop.
Yeah.
And you pay for it. But at the end of the day, it's like buying a Staccato P now. Like you want to do that because you like the 1911 and you want the double stack.
You'll take care of it more. You'll
even if you beat the living, even if you beat it up, right? To your point of having only a few firearms, that's the new. I don't want to say that's the new theory, but I've seen that a lot especially in younger folks that they look at it and be like, no, I want the Knight's Armament. I'm like, you could piece that together yourself. And you're like, no, I want the Knight's name. I want that there. I'm like, oh, that's cool. No, I want the Daniel Defense. Or
I want to be able to post this on Instagram.
Yeah, exactly. Watch everyone go, oh my God. And
yeah.
I want to buy it once and never have to worry about it. I'll buy 4 or 5 optics. That way the weapon can do whatever it wants to do. Or I want a really nice bolt-action rifle so that I've got this for the rest of my... And I'm never buying a second one to replace the first one.
Right.
I might buy a second one to do something else, like a different caliber or a different
That's kind of
platform.
How I am.
Yeah, exactly. And I think I've gotten to that point in my life. But after I think the pro shop is...
We have a few mutual friends that have actually bought, like, say, a SIG, and they have it for a couple of weeks, and they like it so much they have to buy a second one. And then the rationale I was told was this.
Backup.
They can send one out to have all of the custom work done to it. So then they still have one that they can actually shoot.
That makes
carry.
sense. Yeah.
No, that's stupid money. I have no idea, but that's what they do. But we were talking with a few different 1911 guys on some build classes and a few other things that we have in the works. So it'll be more refined of a experience. You go with us, we're going to go places, do things. Kind of like a what do they call that with the women? They go on them wine tours or whatever it is. Think of it as a gun tour.
Like a Napa Valley for guns.
Bingo.
There you
Yeah,
go.
like
Oh, I like that. The Napa Valley for guns. Getting to Chris's point, though, there is so much that we've been putting together that's kind of like off book right now that nobody knows about. Like all the different events that are going to make this a true experience that you're going to want to go to all the time. And I think one of the biggest things that when I started putting the concept together was having manufacturers like yourself have access to a range where they can come out and they can hold training for their reps, their distributors, whoever it is that they want to bring out to the range, and they can have access to the range, have access to the clubhouse, have
kind of
access
like unadulterated in a way.
Exactly, and it's centrally located in the country, so they can bring in their their people from the west and the east and north and the south, and they can all meet up at once.
5 airports within
an hour and a half.
I do like the business orientation around that. I could definitely see the appeal.
And now, even being a bag manufacturer or an accessory manufacturer, imagine the amount of social media exposure when we do a demo day.
Yeah.
And Hackett Equipment's there. And the Gunworks is there. And and all their reps can have the first few days to get used to the new firearms, the new products, the new lights with Surefire, all that. Everyone is disseminated at once. All of the practice is put out, all of the implementation and the practical sales points are done. It leads to a more streamlined rollout of product, and then everyone else can come in from around the country, because we're not going to be just completely private. So for some of these events that, like Surefire and things like that, there are going to be other people coming in.
We'll have an open house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've got days where people can come in and
Definitely.
experience these Surefire classes and things like that. Our members are really cool because we get access to them first,
Right.
And then the second and third day,
No,
that's forever. Exactly. Yeah, I got it when the instructor's fresh, and we've got the secret group, right?
Yeah.
That type of thing. But at the end of the day, everyone's able to have a lot of fun, have a lot more interaction with manufacturers in a controlled environment, and that product rollout experience is going to be talked about even more, and it becomes like a family. Like an industry family gathering point.
By the way, do you
Right?
guys have
How
like
would
a
you say it?
website where you can check on updates and things like that? Or I know you got your Instagram.
The Instagram's there. It's 1881ranch.com.
Okay.
But
Facebook.
everything's just kind of, Facebook is there as well.
Yeah. kind of a slow rollout of that.
It's just real quiet right now.
Yeah.
We're just kind of waiting
As
to
it
get through
should
this last little bit. Chris and I are figuring out a couple little details here and there that have been taken, this time has been taking me away with a few other things in the county and some legal issues and that. So my attention has been distracted, right? So now we're finishing up all the pieces and parts, and some things we
It's
rushed.
coming together, though,
It is. It's coming together
which
really
is
fast.
awesome to see.
2020 is going to move really fast.
You're gonna
Really?
wake up and you're gonna be like, "What just happened?"
Wake up. Who's going to be able to go to sleep?
Yeah.
I'm going to be out there in the middle of the night with a track loader, like cutting trails and stuff, and popping Red Bulls like crazy.
Yeah.
We've got a lot of stuff with there's a lot of people in the industry, and not just in the firearms industry, outside of that, in the automotive industry, that have got a lot of interest in what's going on.
Definitely.
Because
There's two manufacturers right now we can't talk about because
Yeah.
we haven't finalized anything, but there's two right now, and we're not an exclusive environment, so there might be 3, 4, 5, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But even the Engineered Terrain Park has just absolutely lit up a totally different industry who looks at the firearms side and be like, well, it's being run professionally. It's being run as a family organization. There's nothing wrong with that. Elevated 5-stand, shooting on the range with pistols and steel targets. And when we start putting together the targets, there's a whole one target bay, so we'll get some Hackett Equipment targets out there
definitely.
right away.
We'll get you some of those.
Yeah. And that way you can just go to that particular range and just ring steel.
Yeah.
You don't have to bring your own steel, anything like that. Now, you want to take
That is
some
a big
home?
hassle to have to bring your own, right?
It is. I mean, I think that's one of the you get your fingers caught in the chains, right? The bolts rusting on the backside
It's not
that
light.
scrapes you up. No, it's not light. So
my
that's-
fear is always you're going to get hit, you're going to get in a collision, you've got
Oh
got
no!
100 pounds of steel sliding through the back seat into the back of your spine and just severing you in the,
Yeah, that's not good.
Yeah.
The AR 500 is not like.
No, it's not playful.
I kind of laugh at guys that do that. Oh, I'm going to save some money and get some Air 500 plates and put them in my plate carrier. I'm like, oh, really? And watch your knees and
Put 'em
your
in
ankles
backpack,
crush.
Right. Yeah.
So, all right. So you know where you're going in the next couple of years.
Yes.
All right. I love the belt. thing.
We've
I'm gonna
laid
get one of those.
the. Oh, thank you. Yeah, we've laid the groundwork now. Now
Yeah.
it's time to get the distribution. So
Yeah. Well, that's good.
That's what we're kind of focused on at this point.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. So here's the what, not the 800-pound gorilla, but maybe like the 8-pound gorilla.
Okay.
Are you going to SHOT Show?
I'm on the fence, and I knew that I was going to have to decide by the time we talked, and I think I am. I think I'm in for SHOT Show this
If
year.
you go, you're going to be taking meetings, or are you going to be, well, wait, it's sold out by this point. SHOT Show is
Well,
is done.
Indiana, or sorry, not Indiana, but the NRA AM is basically, you cannot get a booth there right now. SHOT Show, you could still get booths if you wanted, but we're not going to get a booth.
Okay.
What we're going to do, like I said, we're going to focus on distribution. So
Mm-hmm.
we're going to be talking, taking meetings,
Okay.
all that
Good.
good stuff. Yeah. So,
All right. And then are you going to do the NRA show again?
That's
So
in where is that?
that's in Tennessee.
Is it Tennessee or Louisiana?
I think it's in Nashville.
Good. I don't have to wear
Nashville.
any shoes.
Yeah, so that is actually sold out. There's no way we can get a booth at that one, but we'll be
Really?
there. Yeah, we'll be there walking around.
That's kind of funny because the NRA has been pounding on me to do a couple things, and they're like, "Well, you've got to do this, and you got to do this, and you got to do this, and then we'll come." And I'm
Are
like,
they
"No, it doesn't."
It was sold out the second day of the Indiana show.
Yeah, but when I looked at them, and when I
The
was
NRA, are they still relevant?
Oh, you had to go there, didn't you? When I talked to them at SHOT and then again at NRA show, it was kind of like, well, this is what you need to do for this, this, and this. And I kind of looked at them and I said, whoa, whoa, whoa. If you expect to use my range or my clubhouse or my facilities for anything, you've got to pony up first. Like, there's got to be a mutual thing. I'm not extending my welcome mat for you only to use it and then go, oh, corporately, we forgot who you are.
Right.
I'm not into that. I got to protect my members. I got to protect my facility.
You've been doing this long enough where you know how to protect yourself.
You don't want to just be abused by a huge entity? Come on. Everybody wants that, I thought, right? Isn't that what it's all about? You're building it for them just to use, you know?
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly why I'm losing sleep at night.
By the way, you
My
need to have
ulcer's
Chris on
huge.
the show more often. He's like a nice like
No.
sidekick compliment to everything. I like this.
No, he can bring the Dago back. I am not. No.
Altenda, if you're listening to
Altenda
this
was
right
a-
now,
yeah.
I owe you some gear, so don't worry.
I know
hope
he's
it's not keeping you up at
He's been
night.
like, oh no, you got to get to the Hackett. You got to get to the Hackett over to me.
I want one of his things.
Don't worry,
I
Altenda, I'll get you something.
I can't say enough nice things about him. He's such a genuine person.
He is the nicest guy in the world. That's all I say
really
about
is.
him. When
Yeah,
people
he really
ask about him, he is the nicest human being in the world.
It was almost too nice. Like, I looked at him, I'm like, I started putting my hand on my wallet right away.
Yeah.
I was like, wait a minute here.
His
Something's-
YouTube channel's pretty cool too.
The toys thing,
Yeah.
I can't get behind, but it does bring me back to like all the.
I'm surprised he did go that direction. But
He likes that stuff,
Yeah.
but remember, he comes from Italy.
Yeah.
Right. So, have you ever seen toys in Italy?
never been to Italy.
They're few and far between, and they're kind of like here's a block with a couple grapes, nailed to the side of it, and that's your car.
So that's
your
why
toy
he
car.
likes toys so much, is because he didn't really get to.
Exactamundo.
When
Actually-
have you been to his house? You haven't
No,
been to his house.
nope.
Okay. Have you been to his house?
No.
He has a man cave that has more He-Man, Hot Wheels, and we're talking
His
like
Hot Wheels collection.
Hot Wheels collection.
I
is
you have to say
insane.
is insane.
He has an AC/DC car. Oh, they only make so many of these, and the Kiss, and
I had the Kiss car. It was a Corvette, I think.
His bar has a Motorhead banner behind it. He's got a picture of Lemmy. I mean, it's
Oh yeah, the people he knows is like amazing. He's like, oh no, hey, here's his phone number. Call him. I'm like, what? I'm not gonna call Gene Simmons. What are you crazy? He's like, no. Tell him you know me.
Well, this.
And by the way, for anyone listening, do not call Gene Simmons and tell him. Like, I'm telling Altenda sent me.
This same principle is actually what got me into guns, like kind of indirectly, because my grandpa was a product of World War II. He was a refugee. He was in a gulag in Russia, and then he went to the Middle East, and then he wound up in New Zealand.
where was he originally from?
Poland, right? So
Good Lord.
when
He lived through the gulags?
oh my God, his story is incredible. That could
Oh
be
my
a whole
God.
podcast. But
Is he's still around?
no, he passed unfortunately. But
Sorry to hear that.
no, it's
He'd
okay.
have been, you got to tell the story one day.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you know it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I actually wrote his memoirs. He
Oh, really?
He dictated them to me, and we spent like 2 years making this like detailed.
Ooh, let's
memoir.
do it.
It's
Let's
pretty
do it.
cool.
Oh, I love
But
that.
I was getting at is that he got into guns because he wasn't allowed to have them in Poland, and
Yeah.
he felt like if he was able to, or his family was able to defend themselves because they were able to own firearms,
It would have been a much different time.
they wouldn't have been put on a train,
Yeah.
and taken to a gulag in Russia.
Have you guys seen the people in Hong Kong right now?
Yeah, that's
Protesting?
incredible too.
Have you seen their banners? Have you seen their signs?
No.
It says, we need the Second Amendment.
Wow.
That's going some.
I
I don't mean like going some like craziness. That's going to the point of
they recognize the
they
importance.
recognize the
of it,
importance. Exactly.
which a lot of people even here don't.
There's
exactly,
there's only one reason right? And then I think in this country we have now flipped where we fear the government. It's the other way around.
Yeah.
The government should always respect its citizens because at any given minute, we can put our gear on, we can walk to the White House, knock on the door and say, okay, you guys can leave now.
Right, yeah.
We'll take it from here. We'll start over. But
It's called tyranny.
They had
Just don't say the Hillary word, and I think that will be okay.
Correct.
Yeah, we won't be smoked in the middle of the...
Yeah.
they had something on about Bolivia. I guess 13 years ago they confiscated all the firearms,
Yeah.
and apparently there was some type of massacre past couple of weeks where a whole bunch of people were killed, and they're claiming they want their guns back.
Well, did you
You
see
wonder.
did you see what the Chinese military is actually doing to people that are hurt? The first responders come in to produce aid, to administer aid to these people. You're bleeding, you're broken. You're like, okay, the cops come by, grab a hold of the first responders, pull them off to the side, zip cuff them, put them inside a little itty bitty thing with 4 cones and some tape, and say, if you leave this quarantine area, this little jail cell, if you will, right? It's just a piece of tape on the ground.
Right.
Yeah.
Leave this box, I shoot you in the head.
Wow.
You're dead. Now that's the first responders. Like if your country
like your own
really,
guy.
Yeah, right? Like if your country
brother.
really cared about its people, you'd let them protest, you'd let the cops beat on them, and then you'd send in the first responders. Say, okay, did we work this all out? I don't want to. I don't want to say
in
that.
the 60s.
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't want to say that that's the way it should be. Your cops get to beat on people, or the military gets to, tear gas them and club them and kill them. But there has to be some sort of you just can't let that oppression come from one side and say okay, now we're going
Definitely.
to take away your first responders. Like they're shooting bows and arrows at the militia. I mean, there've been.
What else you got? Right?
Hey, you know what? It's pretty quiet, and
Yeah.
it's almost a sniper round. When you think about it, it's like, and all of a
Yeah.
sudden this arrow's gone through your body armor.
Hopefully it's well placed.
Yeah, I don't.
who gave up possession of Hong Kong? Who was that? Was that
The Brits.
Brits.
The Brits.
Brits.
Yeah,
In
I actually
the
just learned about
70s?
this the other day.
Yeah. No one really realized that Hong Kong's its own entity, like Rome.
Not anymore. They gave that up in when?
Yeah,
2000?
Yeah.
When?
I think so.
Nobody knew
I gotta
that
be-
the
I gotta-
British controlled it either.
I gotta brush up on that before I say another word.
Yeah.
But I do know this: Rome is its own country, and I learned that the hard way.
What about the Vatican?
Oh, the Vatican. I'm sorry. Yeah, the Vatican is its own country inside of Rome. So when I was sitting here talking to Altenda before the podcast, I'm like, I didn't know. And he goes, "Oh yeah, everyone I know.
Yeah,
The
he
Vatican."
gave you a geological breakdown there.
Yeah, I know, totally. And it was just one of those things. I'm like, and then I met some guys from the Swiss Guard through my years of contracting and everything, and these dudes are stone cold. Like,
Yeah.
I don't want to say, I don't want this to sound like, this macho crap of whatever, but there are very few people that make my skin crawl. Yeah, you might be dangerous, and I'll kind of laugh it off and poke your buttons a little bit and see if you punch me or whatever, or knife me. But I met a couple of these guys, and I got to tell you,
Serious.
no, that's not the word.
Oh.
The Pope is not protected by punks or roundhouse.
Thank you. The Pope is protected by trained, cold-blooded assassins, killers, flat out.
We should do a podcast.
I mean, who
in
else would
Italy.
dress around in a clown outfit and not care about what anyone says,
Right.
right? Somebody that just kind of
The
laughs,
Brits?
like they sit there and they kind of look at me like, "I'm going to carve you apart with a grapefruit spoon later tonight." Laugh all you want.
Don't they make Rolex watches too?
Who's that? Swiss?
Yeah. No.
That's a Swiss movement, but it's not Rolex.
Right. Where are they made at?
Well, the movement is Swiss.
Right. Like the actual case
Yeah.
itself.
Well, I mean,
Rolex, the
it's-
company, is made out of where? I thought they said the Vatican.
I actually heard
No.
this. Speaking of Rolex, I heard this the other day. It's kind of a unique self-defense principle. Is like if you wear, it might be a good idea to wear a Rolex around for
A Bolex. You got to wear a Bolex.
Yeah, well, you could be fake or whatever, but as a bargaining chip,
Yes.
if you need to trade it for a car or whatever,
Yeah.
I thought that was a great idea.
Yeah, but you don't leave it on your hand
right.
because they'll chop your hand off to get it.
Right.
I know a buddy that worked for a high-end camera company.
God.
And he was in Venezuela.
The
as a matter of fact.
stories you have are just incredible. By the way,
Dude, they put a gun in his face, broad daylight, in the middle of the city street. in a cab because he had his Omega on his wrist and he was hanging out the thing. He was like, "Oh, I'm a Klaus and I'm from the Netherlands and I know, I don't believe in guns and blah, blah." Next thing you know, there's a gun in his face and the dude's taking his Omega.
Oh my God.
This is like Sea Dweller or whatever that thing's called, and that's it. It's over with. And he never told me about it. This came to me like third person. I looked at him one day and said, "Klaus, wouldn't you rather have had like a 9mm to shove back in his face?"
Right.
And he's like, "Oh God, no, I wouldn't know what to do." And I'm like, "I do." And that's like, "Here's my watch. Pop, pop, pop."
Yeah.
But nonetheless.
How
All
about buy a Timex and you don't have to worry about it, Oh, you want it, it's yours.
Yeah, but you
Needs
don't,
a new
you don't
battery anyways.
You don't get a bargaining chip. You mean like, "Hey, look, this watch is worth $3,000, $5,000, $10,000. You don't get your way out."
Yeah.
And that was when it was a gentleman by the name of Carl that I was doing some consulting for, and he was building a truck to go through the Sudan and Jordan and
Overlanding?
Yes, and he wanted to. Not to get too far off, we'll do another episode on this. Just we've
got like 10 episodes
totally.
just in this one podcast.
Completely.
Ready to go now.
He wanted a fake battery as a smuggle compartment in his truck. So we got another Optima battery, and it was a hollow one. And I'm like, "You don't realize what they do at border crossings, do you?" And he's kind of looked at me, and I'm like, when the dude takes out his flashlight or his stick and pops your and he,
He listens for the sound, huh?
yeah, and he's
Okay.
like, "What is that?" And he pops it open, and you've got a passport and some money. Now all of a sudden, you look like a smuggler. And if you're a smuggler and you're driving this brand new FJ through Morocco,
They'll just shoot you and bury you.
exactly. Now all of a sudden,
bury you.
now you're a hostage.
Yeah.
You'll never see the light of day again.
Wow.
So I mean, there's different things. I'm like, you want to put a smuggle compartment on the truck someplace? We'll put a gas tube, a gas line or whatever, and we'll put a few $100 bills in there. So if you ever have to get out of the truck, you crawl underneath the truck, you grab the brake line or the fuel line, and you grab it and pull, and it'll come right out of the frame. And stuffed in there is $1,000 in American cash.
Yeah.
And that way, or some Cougarans or something, something to get you out of wherever it is you are.
Right.
I'm like, don't put a smuggle compartment in there. And he just looked at me like, well, I'm connected. I'm like, exactly, you're a target.
Yeah.
So try and stay low profile. And I'm like, well, oops, I guess I shouldn't have put those Bentley seats in my FJ. I'm like, do you think?
Yeah, but how many people have seen the inside of a Bentley, let alone?
It's the carpet
You'll
doesn't
know.
match the curtains at that point, and then you open the door, and you're like, you see this nice, quilted leather. That's expensive.
Yeah.
I don't have to, not to be too far out of the jungle to understand that. That's definitely not my tax bracket type thing, right?
Definitely.
But that's a story of Africa and that whole thing and how I want to know that's a different story. That's a different podcast. All right, so you're probably going to do the NRA.
We are definitely going to do SHOT Show.
Okay.
And we'll be at NRA for sure.
All right. You'll be walking around NRA.
You'll be at
you're not
SHOT
getting
Show walking around.
Yeah, you'll be at SHOT Show walking around, and you'll be at NRA. I'm not going to let you miss NRA.
Yeah.
'Cause
Actually, I wouldn't miss either just to hang out with you guys.
We do have a blast, don't we?
Yes.
I couldn't imagine that the last time we were hanging out. It was Ben from Skill Set, right? That was right after Ben and Jay
After the skill set party.
at the skill set party, the man skills challenge.
A lot of people.
We were
were
hanging out
The
with-
woman won, and she
She
did do a great job.
She did an awesome job. This was 5 foot nothing, blonde hair, 4.5 feet tall, blonde hair, blue eyed, innocent
she
little
beat
girl.
everybody.
She beat
It was-
everybody in the man skills challenge. It was amazing.
And actually, that was,
amazing.
She took your spot because they wanted to drag you up there.
Yeah.
And I
hesitated.
kicking you to go
and
up
I
there.
hesitated. And I was like, you know what? And they're like, oh no, Will's real OG. Get him down here now. I'm like, yeah, I don't want to be able to crush. I don't want to crush that. Just keep me out of this for a minute. And then all of a sudden, boom, somebody else threw this little blonde girl up, and they're like, okay, sold. We'll take that. And they stuck her up there,
course.
and she was ruthless.
Wow.
Just absolutely ruthless. And she got they did a big wrestling belt.
I was talking with the guy from Raton Optics, RITON, and we were talking with him, and he's watching. He's like, I can't believe this.
I'm actually surprised about how many people you guys know in the industry. Like when I first met you, it was like we went. I don't know. We were at one of the SHOT Show parties, and you're like, "Yep, that's that." You know, you're giving me all the introductions and stuff like that. I was like, "Wow, like these guys are something else."
I don't know as many as El Tenda for some
El Tenda knows everybody.
Everybody. Like, he's like walking me around. He's like, "Oh, hey, do you know so and so?" And this is John Sharp, and I'm like, "Oh,
Jim Fuller.
right,
We go here, we go there.
Wow. Yeah, exactly. Like, we're sitting there with we're having beers with Mark Krebs and John Sharp and Jim Fuller and
the guy from the he makes the pin sights, the drop ins for AKs and ARs. K&S.
K&S.
Yeah, he was there too.
He was there
Chris
too.
from K&S,
Yeah.
good guy.
There's so many people, and you've had so many drinks. You're like, you almost want to write it down on a piece of paper, put it next to the dude's face, and take a picture. Because you're like, I will not remember that in 3 weeks.
Right.
Because it turned out to be a blur.
When you're walking into a boardroom meeting and he's there.
Yeah, you're like,
Oh, no.
We were just talking about Brandon from the AK company.
I'm drawing a blank. Which one?
Yeah, the guy with the good hair. You and El Tenda were talking about him, and you're like, "Oh, I don't know that guy," and I'm listening to the podcast.
Oh, yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
Dude, we were drinking with him at the agency party. It's like,
Yeah. And he reached out to me just recently too. He's like, "Hey, you coming to SHOT again? We got to do that again." I'm like, "Sure am." Who are you? He knew me, but once I saw the hair, then I was like, "Oh yeah." He's like David Hasselhoff hair.
Okay.
Oh,
it's
dude,
that memorable.
He crushes
lion's
it.
mane.
Crushes it, dude. Crushes it.
Hey, well, I wanted to give your listeners a discount code, if that's okay.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
20% off on our website if you use the code Hackett20.
Hackett
20.
HACKETT
20.
20.
Yep.
Perfect.
Get 20%
Thanks.
off everything. Yeah.
Awesome.
I figured if they listen this far into the episode, they're committed.
Well, we're at an hour and 36 minutes, and we've gone
Time
down
flies.
the I know, right? So at this point, we'll kind of try and wrap this up. Our rabbit holes kind of went a little deep, but I think you break it up into 2 or 3.
I think it's
segments. Who cares?
It's very informative too. I think a lot of the things we touched on. It's a lot of things, but
It's a lot of fun stuff. It brings everybody, like we said before we started the podcast. Like, one of the main draws of this is that people start to understand. I don't want to say they understand, but they start to get to maybe brought into a world that they don't necessarily have access to, and they feel that they're involved. Feel that they've got a little bit of knowledge. There's been a couple episodes of podcasts, and especially TV shows from different small-time producers, and the episodes are always loaded with these inside jokes, and I know the guys, and I still don't get the jokes.
You're like, where did that come
And I'm
from?
like, well, why would you do that? I know most of everything that you're talking about, and I still don't get the joke.
At least
and
we explained our jokes.
I'm really getting tired of it. So at that point, I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to sponsor that anymore. I'm just going to back away. And it's just, that's not fun. If you can't be the center of attention, the life of the party, and keep everybody entertained and fill in those people that come in late, like when we were at the NRA show, at the last second, there's Ava there, there's you, there's Ben, and here I am. I'm like, this is Ben.
Hold on. The other guy was there from Elite
Ops Energy.
Yeah.
I don't know where they went. I haven't talked to those guys in a long time. But
No,
they're still around.
I just ran across the tabs.
Okay.
Yeah, they were my thing. I'm clearing it out.
Oh, yeah?
I've got everything situated.
I love those things, by the way.
Do you?
Yeah.
I haven't tried mine yet. I've heard good things, but I haven't gotten to it yet.
It's like one cup of coffee on a Listerine strip.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's...
You feel it in 10 seconds.
Why are you two guys nodding your head at me like, what's wrong with you?
I can't believe you even tried it. Right?
Yeah.
Maybe
It's worth it.
Maybe I should start dissolving them in my cup of coffee in the morning.
There you go.
I'll dissolve 3 of those strips in an espresso.
2 for 1.
Yeah, in an espresso. See if I pop.
Get one of them sweatbands in the summertime. You line it with it and just wrap it around your head.
Oh, there you go.
Well, I just wanted to say, I really believe in what you guys are doing, and I wouldn't be here if I didn't.
Oh, thanks.
And I stand behind the mission and everything like that. So
perfect. Thanks. Yeah. We're glad to have you on board, and you're definitely going to be part of the pro shop and more of these going forward.
Yeah, and thank you for having us on. By the way,
let's give everybody a wrap up of your contact information. Where can they get a hold of you? So we got a discount code, which is Hackett20, HACKETTE 20.
There's no E at the end.
Oh wait, no, I'm sorry. HACKETT
20.
20.
Yep, Hackett 20.
That's 20%
And that's on our website at hackettequipment.com.
with 2 T's.
Yep, with 2 T's. And you can find us on Instagram if you just search Hackett Equipment, and Facebook as well. So
Okay.
Are you on Twitter or?
we're not on Twitter. I'm thinking about it. It's kind of like the Wild West right now. I don't know.
It's always been the Wild West.
Right.
I've played with it. I've gone there, come back, gone there, come back. It's just like, it's kind of like going vegan.
Yeah.
You've got great intentions, and then all of a sudden you're like, there's no bacon in this. Do
We're
I really
actually
want to
on-
hang out with this?
Yeah. We're actually
you
on
on
YouTube now, finally.
TikTok or anything?
yeah?
Or?
No. I don't even know what TikTok
We
is,
can
but
stand around and dance for all of that. You can't talk
we're on
about it.
YouTube finally, though. We started making and creating more YouTube videos. So
Cool.
Yeah.
I can't wait for one of the first range that opens up. We're going to be doing a lot. So when you guys want to
I
come out there
cannot
and do,
imagine the content you guys are going to be coming out with. Yeah. I'm excited for it.
right?
Yeah.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah. Well, like I
And
said,
we reached
thank
out
you.
to a couple of the other guys too, from Shooting USA,
Okay.
and Guns and Ammo TV, and Defensive Weapons, and
Yeah.
So we're going to try and get as many people out there utilizing this as possible, so that they've got a new home.
We're looking for
Professional, family oriented.
Yes.
All the major networks, things like that. That we don't have to. Remember, our first concern is
You don't want
our
someone
member
shooting
safety.
from the hip, like
No, but we've got to.
unless they're a pro.
although if Mr. Miklik would like to come out, we would definitely put a name there in his honor. We'd love to have him out.
I'd love to have his wife come out and do a class for the girls.
His daughter,
Well, Lena too. Yeah,
she's with SIG.
I think so. I don't know how that happened.
I can tell you. Money.
I don't know how this
Money.
vodka Red Bull
Money.
lasted me the whole show.
I don't. Well, it might just because it's your second tall.
Yeah, true.
That's something we should probably start doing. Is in the beginning of the podcast. I'm like, have you ever heard of one of the Dennis Miller radio shows? During talk radio, where Dennis Miller is kind of funny, right? So he started on Saturday Night Live, and he was pure left. Like, he was so left. And then one day, I think he fell off the toilet seat, bumped his head, and then he was like staunch right. Like 100, like overnight.
Overnight.
Yeah, but his radio show, like halfway through on public radio or whatever, it used to be, he would have a soup of the day. And they have this like
Soup of the day.
like somebody slurping soup, and
Okay.
it was like, oh, it's turtle soup with porcini mushrooms. And they weren't really eating that. It's just his gag, like soup of the day. Maybe
like
we
that.
should do ours like drink of the evening.
Yeah.
What are we drinking tonight while we're speaking? Maybe that gives
The best vodka in the world. What vodka is it?
Warrior Vodka.
Sponsoring this podcast.
Well, at least sponsoring the dream. So we got to get John's on the thing too. Everyone has to understand though, when you come out of a war zone with a traumatic brain injury, it's a little difficult to corral, to like, and we say that right now because we went how many rabbit holes? 12 rabbit holes tonight, and barely poked our heads back up.
They're like gopher holes now.
I think they're more like what foxholes or
Yeah,
something.
there's so
they
many
were
now.
dug by a bunch of French who were left their rifles out in the
We were
field.
supposed to talk about backpacks, and we ended up on.
But he does Warrior Vodka. It's a 501c3, and it's
It's
a
a
very
true
really cool.
501c3.
yeah. It is very, very, very. It's very clean. The entire operation.
Yeah.
His heart and soul is just there to, to give back to the warriors and things like that, because he is a warrior. He's a retired Marine himself, disabled, but the vodka is very clean.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it doesn't give you a headache. It's not rot gut stuff. I mean, this is very nice spirits.
Yeah.
This is
And it's affordably priced.
it's affordably priced. Comes in a cool bottle, and you're helping a good cause. So
That's awesome.
we'll have him on the show, and we'll do another serious deal about that.
Cool.
So, but yeah, Red Bull and vodka, right? So that kept us down the gopher hole. So that's about it. You got your contact information. So let's see. You got your website.
Yep.
We got a discount code Hackett20 for 20% off.
Social media.
Social media
And
your website.
Yeah, if you want to email us to info@hackett.com.
Okay,
And we're
perfect.
pretty quick.
Or
Awesome.
they can message you at Facebook or
Yeah, message us anywhere.
Instagram?
We'll be
Yeah,
there.
what's your personal cell phone? If you have a problem, call Greg at.
Yeah. Actually, our business number directs to my personal cell phone, so it's basically the same
I
thing.
did that for a while at Vulture for the first few years while I was running because I didn't want to miss any input or anything, and that's how I made
Right.
3 of my big changes was because some person decided that they were going to call me in the middle of the afternoon or the middle of the evening on a Saturday or Sunday, and they thought that they were just going to leave a message, and somebody answered the phone, and I'm like, this is somebody calling Vulture. I'm like, well, let's see what they have to say on a Saturday afternoon. I'm curious. Boom. Hey, Vulture Equipment
What's
Works.
going on?
Yeah, and all of a sudden they said, hey, are you going to do anything with, stainless steel?
Yeah.
And that was like, nah. Well, he's like, well, I like the 1095, but it rusts. And I'm like, but you want stainless? You want to pay for it? Oh, I have no problem paying for it. I just want the stainless steel.
Yeah.
And then
Same thing, yeah.
That led me down that road, and that's where everything went. And
A lot of people get surprised when I answer emails within minutes on a Sunday, and they see Greg, president of Hackett, on a Sunday on there,
that's always fun. You get people off guard a little bit. And then
Yeah,
sometimes
definitely.
they stop answering you. They're like,
Yeah, but people like
crickets.
that.
Wait. It's
Yeah.
like,
You get customers for life that way.
Right.
Ooh, sound effects.
yeah, you like that? I just
yeah.
put that in here the other day, and I used it with El Tenda the other day, I think.
Yeah.
So, all right, well, guys, thanks again for coming.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining. It's been a long, a long podcast. Thanks everybody for listening. And if you need to reach out to us, it's at 1881ranch.com. You can reach us at membership at 1881ranch.com. You can also check us out on Instagram and Twitter, Facebook. Just use 1881 Ranch, do a search.
Put my email on there so they can contact me if they want to.
Oh, you can reach
sponsorships,
and special events. You
Show
reach out
notes or
to
something.
Chris through membership at 1881ranch.com and just put attention Chris or event director. Okay? So thanks everybody. Thanks for listening. It's been a really long trip, but thanks again, Greg. Thanks, Chris, for joining us. And till next time, guys.
Thanks again, everyone, for tuning in to another installment of Home on the Range. Remember, if you enjoyed this episode, make sure to like us on Facebook and follow us on Instagram and Twitter. Till next time, stay wild and true to your heart.